Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today we are looking at The Terrifics, Issue 1 from 2018. This is written by Ivan Reyes and Jeff Lemire, with ink by Joe Parado. Colorist is Marcelo Melio. Letters Tom Napolitano, with Reese and Milo cover. Jessica Chen, associate editor. Paul Kaminsky, editor. Marie Javins, group editor. Now this is one of the new Age of Heroes line, like Damage, Curse of Brimstone, and several others. Now we looked at Damage issue 1 and Sideways issue 1, and I didn't care for Sideways, but I did like Damage. Check out the full reviews on those if you're interested. But the Terrifics, I thought, well, it's got Mr. Terrific, I like him. Metamorpho's on the cover, I like him. Plastic Man, I love Plastic Man, he was always cool. Maybe this would be a good book. Well, we open up on Java, who is the de-iced Neanderthal henchman of Dr. Stagg. Dr. Stagg has apparently acquired Holt Industries. Michael Holt is, of course, Mr. Terrific, the second Mr. Terrific, not the Golden Age one. We go in to find out that Stagg has been probing around in the dark multiverse and sent Metomorpho in. Well, Metomorpho came back in nth metal form as some sort of defensive default. It's a really cool introduction to him. He's suspended in the air with this big green light behind him, and Stagg doesn't know how to close the portal, which obviously is bad. What else could Michael do except summon the only thing that can help? And it's not a what, it's a who. But just as they're about to do something, Metamorpho breaks from his bonds, and Rex goes on a little bit of a rampage. Stagg doesn't know how to close the portal, and his daughter Sapphire and him are at risk. So what else could happen? The egg, which is actually Plastic Man, and Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific get sucked into the portal. Plastic Man wakes up just in time to throw them into his mouth where they're protected. So they have a very long and interesting conversation inside of Plastic Man's mouth, where Plastic Man, it is revealed, was sent as a probe into the dark multiverse by Batman initially, and he's been trapped in this like egg state for a while. Now this all takes place in the course of Dark Knight's Metal, where all of this is stemming from, and this has obviously been used as a launching point for all these new books. So Plastic Man doesn't remember a whole lot initially, but he's starting to have a little bit of a recall about it, and it's because Plastic Man has what they're saying is a unique molecular structure, which has a superconductive reaction to the energies of the dark multiverse, to quote Mr. Terrific. Apparently Plastic Man's been asleep like this for a little while. They end up landing on what they think is a planetoid where there's a distress signal. Plastic Man extends himself out to find out it's actually a giant corpse of a very dead old creature, and they're attacked by some insect things. The insect things are stopped by this girl that can apparently become intangible, and she can't revert back to her tangible form for some reason, but everybody on her planet could do this. But her name is Linya Wazo, and she's from I'd Like to Buy a Vowel planet. And Plastic Man cracks a couple jokes, but she didn't set up the distress signal that they were picking up, and it's actually coming from another machine. And that's where we get a big reveal that leads into next issue, and it is a reveal that not only adds to the dark multiverse story, it also brings in some characters from another line of comics entirely. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see America's Best make an appearance in here, and they're apparently going to bring them into the main DC universe, at least in a way. It was actually a really fun issue. The art's pretty good. I'm real impressed with that. It's not exactly my thing, but it was better than I expected, and the writing was real good. It was a real fun story. Plastic Man was funny, and it had a good dialogue. They kind of brought you up to speed a little bit on what's going on in case you hadn't read Dark Knight's Metal. And they did my favorite thing, which was footnoting. They put the little box in with the asterisks telling you where you could find what they're talking about. Alright, they're talking about Dark Knight's Metal, and it says read Dark Knight's Metal. That's what I like to see. This is the first comic you ever picked up. You're not going to know what that is. You're not going to know what nth metal is, but it mentions that it's in Dark Knight's Metal. The only thing I didn't like is the cover is a gatefold cover like the other ones, and they have this like poster thing going on with the cover. I hate that because it folds up, and that means that you got to look real carefully at the cover, especially on the inside, to see if it's been folded. And that is really difficult to do if you're buying it bagged and boarded. So I hate the gatefold cover. Otherwise, I really like the issue. It was a fun story, very fast paced. I thought it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to give this one a recommend. If you get a chance to go out and pick it up, I thought it was fun. They bring back some interesting characters. We've got Mr. Terrific, we've got Metomorpho, Plastic Man, and Linya, and a guest appearance at the end that brings in America's Best. I highly recommend checking it out. They're doing a lot at DC, bringing in some old characters and bringing in some new ones as well, and bringing some that you never would have thought would have made an appearance. I think the team is a nice assortment of random third stringers that are all actually pretty powerful in their own way. So should be a good time. Highly recommend it. Check it out. But that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel, and we hope to see you on the next episode.